The geopolitical and economic tussle for leadership in West Africa between Nigeria and Ghana have gone some notches higher in recent times, in particular since the new intra-Africa trade agreement came into effect last year. But beyond the political posturings, what exactly makes a country a destination for foreign investments and trade by regional and overseas institutions, both sovereigns and private sector? Let's get some answers from John Isemede. He's an international trade expert with many years of experience on the private sector field. Mr. Isemede was also a former president of the National Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, or NACCIMA. He joins me from our Lagos studios this evening. A warm welcome to you, sir, to the show.
Thank you very much. I was not the president of NACCIMA. I was the DG of NACCIMA 2010-2015. Before I move fire to the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that correction. We appreciate it. Now we're 6 months into the new AfCFTA. Give us your view on these few steps we've already taken. Some says they are baby steps. Do you agree?
Not really. Let us put it in the right perspective. When you talk of the Africa Continental Free Trade, because of the time, it will be difficult for me to give you a true picture. I will only give you the summary. Because before the signing, I've done 30 years of research across the continent of Africa, mainly by road, sponsored by Unilever. So when you are talking of 6 months, it is not 6 months on my books. Because the Africa Continental Free Trade started the first day when Ghana got independence on the 6th of March in 1957, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, the independence of Ghana is incomplete if other African countries, if there's no integration and industrialization of Ghana. In 1958, at that time, Ghana population was only 6 million, Nigeria was 45 million. We know what happened in 1950 is, even before Nigeria got independent in 1960, the Continental Free Trade was given to Nigeria. And when by 1991, I was in Ethiopia, studying how on this integration and other issues. By 1980, that was where I first really heard about this, the Lagos Plan of Action. I was part of the 1991 meeting in Abuja under General Ibrahim Babangida. I was part of the trade fair organized by General Sani Abacha in Kaduna in 1997. So when you now say 6 months, it is not 6 months. The first question I asked before the signing, because I was the man who said Nigeria is not prepared. What is our level of preparedness? It is not import side only. Which market have we developed? Have we engaged the ambassadors, the diaspora? Which product? Because today we drink Kenyan tea in Nigeria. We eat Titus sardine from Morocco. We get products all over the place from South Africa. We get fish from Senegal and Mauritania. What is Nigeria bringing to the table? The import side of the business is on a single window. Export is still disjointed. Which port is our port now configured to handle export? Which product have we identified? I came out and said, I am not saying we are not going to sign. But let us use the template which we use under General Ibrahim Babangida to run the Ecowas project. Because Ecowas, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, commissioned 4 of us to travel around the sub-region by road. I traveled from here to Senegal. And we came back and said, this is what we can do in Ghana, this is what we can do in Liberia, this is what we can do in Sierra Leone. But those things I did not see. And when we were to sign in Kigali in March 2018, I said Nigeria is not ready because we cannot compete. Ghana took it because of the foundation laid by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Today we have the secretariat in Ghana. Mark it, very soon Ghana will jump the ship, like what they are doing based on the agreement they are signing with the EU. Let us not shy away from the fact that as I'm talking, what we have seen has been various committees and all that. The initial committee that was set up, there were 20 members in 2017. The private sector was at the corner. The private sector was never worked with. It was not in line with the Ecowas agreement because under the Ecowas, the first thing we raised was payment system. Buying and selling, what is the bottom line? Payment. That if we don't pay, the hammer of CBN is dangling on people's head. That was why General Ibrahim Babangida commissioned the CBN and all that. With the private sector, today we talk of EcoBank and New Generation Bank. Payment is not the issue. What of infrastructure? We are talking of trade. Nigeria has no national carrier. I'm not saying we should go and acquire aircraft overnight. Nigeria has no shipping line since the liquidation of the NNS in 1987. Today, we are talking of port issue, we are talking of border issue and all that. How can we compete when there is suffocation in the economy?
So in terms of when you go by recent developments and you're just talking about the AFCFTA, do you think Ghana is fast becoming a stronger force to reckon with in the West Coast?
Thank you very much. I am not a new person in Ghana. I work in Ghana for almost 15 years, in and out, and have worked in Nigeria for more than 30 years. The truth of the matter is that Ghana has a strategy. Ghana has a foreign policy. Ghana has a trade policy. Ghana has their own economic diplomacy. So we will come to that of Nigeria. In 1957, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah gave the strategy how to run the economy of Ghana. When Ghana got independent in 1957, the first thing they did was to pull out of the West Africa currency and came up with the cedi. By 1958, they pulled out of the West Africa airline. Ghana got 3, Nigeria got 3, Sierra Leone and other out of the 10 aircraft we inherited from the Britain. Nigeria got independent in 1960. The first thing we did was to send our soldiers to the Belgian Congo to go and fight for Patrice Lumumba and Antonio Kasavubu, even before we joined the United Nations on the 7th of October in 1960. So if you look at the scenario from Ghana, from 1957 they got independent. What of in 1967? There was a civil war in Nigeria. Ghanaians pushed Nigeria out of Ghana. Benin Republic accepted us. Today you talk of Biafra market, but we don't call it Biafra market because of Soviet. Benin has great respect for us. They call it Misebo. So down the line, by 2007, Ghana was telling us, after a series of meetings, of jettisoning some of the ECOWAS agreement, that they are talking of the EPA. You know, the EPA, Economic Partnership of Africa.
Yes.
And what we were told that Ghana signed interim agreement. I went to Ghana and I asked why. They said what they do is that they export agricultural produce. Are you going to leave us in the cold? Now Ghana has taken the bull by the horn. Yes. Before that, just 2020, you interviewed me and I told you that West Africa is not ready for a common currency. And the West Africa currency, we have worked on for 20 years. Ghana is the host, the landlord of the proposed Ecowas Central Bank, located at Premier Towers in Accra. They said they were going to dump the whole arrangement because if you look at the arrangement, I painted a picture that in West Africa, in the past, we had 10 different currencies. Mauritania pulled out 9. Guinea-Bissau already had their currency to the CFA, making 8. Out of that 8 different currencies, 1 belonged to 9. And the currency does not belong to them, it belongs to France. Today we talk of Emefiele. They are the governor of Central Bank. They are not governor of Central Bank in Benin Republic. They are not interested in monetary policy. They are not interested in exchange rate. They are not interested in devaluation and all that. Everything is controlled by France. Then the other one where we're supposed to work on, which is the one Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cape Verde, then the only Francophone country, based on the Secretarial Agreement, they are not part of the they are not part of the CFA.
Mr. Isemede, yes. We will continue this conversation after the break, and I'm sure you can guess what my next question will be. How should Nigeria position for and play this high-profile geopolitics and economic leadership or diplomacy in West Africa?
Thank you.
Stand by. We'll be right back, everyone. Nigeria is considered a major economic powerhouse, not only in West Africa, but on the continent as a whole. However, not a few economic watchers and analysts wonder why the country is yet to roar like a dragon. in terms of socio-economic development, which includes trade. My guest on this tonight is John Isemede, a renowned global trade expert. Thank you very much for standing by. And that's my question. How should Nigeria position for these high-profile geopolitics? Nobody gives you leadership just by the fact that you are home to 200 million odd figures or whatever, or economic diplomacy. So how should we play the game that the Ghanaian authorities are playing?
Thank you very much. This is as simple as ABCD. After the First World War, the first thing that was discussed was how to have central banks across the globe. The United Kingdom cashed on it. After the Second World War, even during the Second World War, that's why we had the Bretton Woods Agreement, that all currencies are tied to the dollar. By 1945, Britain came up with a strategy that there must be a stronger Europe. And the way the Europeans assembled themselves was not a tea party like what we are seeing in the Africa Continental Free Trade of 55 countries coming together, or the Ecowas, that is only 5% after 46 years, because to me it's more or less a tea party and association. By 1945, the Prime Minister of UK, Sir Tussle, came up with a stronger Europe. And when the Treaty of Rome was being put together, that was the time France was in turmoil, protecting workers, protecting their producers and everything. And issues were put in place on how to run the EEC. 6 countries came together. France, that time it was West Germany, Luxembourg, Belgium, and Italy. And as they were progressing, others were joining. That was a strategy. Britain, that was the prime mover, refused to join because they were not in a position to get permanent fledged. Britain, Denmark, and Ireland joined only in 1973. Today, Britain is out of the European Union because of the strategy. Instead of going with 400 million people, with a GDP of 16 trillion, let us now go back to the Commonwealth and use and trade with 54 members. So that of Nigeria, there's a clear case of disjoint between the private sector and the MDAs. We are talking of Africa Continental Free Trade, and we have been keeping the Ecowas Secretariat for 46 years. And trade within the sub-region is only 5%. It shows that there's a problem, that we are lacking in certain areas. Ghana has come up with a strategy. You are talking foreign direct investment and all that. What the direction of what Ghana is doing is not different from the agreement between the EEC on the 12th of September 1963 with Turkey. We have multilateral agreement, we have bilateral agreement, and we have unilateral agreement. Before we signed the ECOWAS ETLS, there are a lot of questions we raised. And when we had to sign the Africa Continental Free Trade, I raised a lot of questions. Some people called me and said, John, listen, let us sign. It's better for us to be in the class and struggle. But since we have signed, which strategy do we have in place? Ghana has a strategy. The strategy is that I have signed all the agreements. You keep the Secretariat of ECOWAS in Abuja. We keep the Secretariat of the Africa Continental Free Trade in Ghana, and we are prepared to join the ship. If what I'm saying is not correct, in 2007, Ghana signed the EPA agreement. In 2020, if they now jump the ship and they now want to sign the single currency. The first question I ask, if Henry Boyo is not alive, some of us who are alive should be able to ask questions. What will happen to Central Bank of Nigeria? And what will happen to the heap of Naira that we will have nothing to do with? And just last week, Ghana now said they were going ahead to sign another agreement within the same agreement with the European Union. That is a strategy, because there are 5 different types of agreements or integration. Because what I am seeing in ECOWAS or in Africa is not really an agreement or integration. It's more or less political intrigues. And Nigeria is too big to be toiled around like that. Nigeria is standing on one leg, which is oil. And the oil economy has now turned us to more or less a wheelbarrow economy. What are we producing that we are signing over 600 agreements? Is there a link with the diaspora? The question we should ask ourselves, Ghana want to capitalize or take the opportunity of the ECOWAS trade liberalization scheme. When this trade liberalization scheme was put on the table in Dakar in 1990, I was there in 1991-92, when it was finally signed, we asked the ruling government at that time, give us 3 years for us to study the situation. Today, what are we going to experience? So, Ghana will bring things into the from the EU.
So here we are, Mr. Isemede, right now between Nigeria and Ghana in a kind of a face-off, in a manner of speaking, between Nigerian traders in Ghana and the requirements of the Ghanaian authorities on one hand, and it looks like almost at every point they're pulling the rug in a manner of speaking. So based on your years of experience in international trade, what do you think the key considerations are for investors and global partners when it comes to trade, really?
All right, thank you very much.
And that's my final question.
A country must have what we call foreign policy. Our foreign policy is not tied to trade. We have foreign policy objective, we have a foreign policy stand. That of Ghana is totally different. We have what we call trade policy. Every 10 years, there's what we call Incoterm. Every 5 years, you call the trade policy. Nigeria has not updated their trade policy for the past 21 years. We have what we call economic diplomacy. That was why when Ghana pulled out our embassy, I gave the example of Libya and the UK in April 1996, when a British policewoman invaded the embassy of Libya. She was gunned down. Nigeria is too big to be toiled around. What is the economy of Ghana? What is the size of the economy of Ghana? That Ghana now want to take the position dealing with 27 European countries and using us as the ultimate market. Do we blame them? The issue is that we should blame ourselves because we have not been able to put our house in order. The other issue we should look at, what is the size of the European Union? The size of the European Union, we are talking of 16 trillion business. And trade within the European Union is about 60 to 70%. Trade within Africa, according to Professor Ali Manzouri, was 20%. According to Salim Ahmed Ali, 16%. Today, is it up to? When the Chinese and others have taken over our market with Chinatown project. What are we doing? That is the question we should ask. Ghana has no issue on this matter. When you talk of closing our district, Dr. Momobi was the PAMSEC Foreign Affairs. Dr. Agaga was the Minister of Trade and Investment. I was the DG of NACCIMA. We worked for 3 years, and there was a reply. As I'm talking to you, our shops in Ghana have been closed for more than 2 years, and goods in there have expired. They are not covered by any form of insurance. Who is fighting for Nigeria? We got independent on the 1st of October. By the 4th of October, we're fighting people's battle, where we need to come together as a team and say, what can Nigeria offer? Because if we come up with a strategy like the German plan, like the Japanese plan, today Ghana will not go and sign another agreement when we have the PTA, FTA, CET, CU, and common market. West Africa is not a common market. The liberation they are talking about is 80%. What is 80%? If you give 80% to Ghana and 0% to Nigeria with the EU, the ACP agreement did not work. AGOA did not work. Even the EPA plus the Cotonou agreement, we did not know how to go about it.
Mr. John Isemede, former Director General of the National Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture of NACCIMA, thank you very much, an international trade expert. Let's leave it there for tonight. Thank you. We enjoy your